Hi everyone, so it's a bit of a different video for me today. I have bought some Daniel Smith sets and I'm going to have a go with them for the first time, showing you what I've bought and what colours are in there, and then tell you a little bit about what I think. So I've been quite resistant to move to some of the Daniel Smith ones because I've used Winsor & Newton for so many years and I'm a creature of habit. And I know what Winsor & Newton do. I love Winsor & Newton and I stick with them. But over the last couple of years, I've gradually bought a few Daniel Smith and I love them. So I thought I would invest in some new ones. So this is a Stella Canfield's Master Artist Set 2. Now, I looked at this because there were colours that I thought I would use for flowers, and there were certain colours that I know through the grapevine are very good. So the moon glows in here. I love cerulean blue. I use it quite often, so I'm interested to see if this one granulates. I love the textures. There is, I can't even say this, rhodonite genuine, green gold, pearl orange and cobalt blue violet. So a lovely selection in here. And here they all are. You even get a Daniel Smith sticker, look. These came all the way from Spain because they were cheaper from Spain than they were from the UK. So I've waited a while for these. So that's a little bit of moon glow. What I'm going to do is squirt them out and then I'm going to play. I've got a little snowdrop picture. I'm going to have a little play. That's what I like to do, play. I don't often play these days because I'm busy teaching and then my tutorials on here are all quite structured. So I don't often get to have a little play. So this is the rhodonite genuine. This is the cerulean blue. Cobalt blue violet's a beautiful colour in Winsor & Newton, so I bet it's a beautiful colour in here as well. And then green gold, that's also a favourite of mine in Winsor & Newton, so it's interesting to see the difference. So I'm only squirting out a little bit of these and then I'm just going to have a little bit of a play and you get to watch. Okay, so I've got my round number 10. I'm going to come on to the centre petals with a bit of water. And then we're going to go with a little bit of this cobalt blue violet. Let's see what happens. So I'm just running it down one side, dotting it off. I want to let it do its thing really, because I want to see the effect and how it differs from Winsor & Newton. I can already see a little bit of granulation in there, which looks really lovely. So I'm going to flip now to start on one of these leaves. So just a little bit of water. I'm going to dip into green gold, which is a lovely colour. It's flowing really nicely. It's really vibrant. There is, which I'm delighted about, granulation. When you first start watercolour, you hate granulation. You think, oh, what is that? I don't want that on my picture. I want it to look nice and smooth. And then as you get into watercolour, you love the granulation more and more. So that's a bit of the cobalt violet going into that one. So I'm just going to flit around. I'm going to pop a bit more water on here. Take a bit of the green gold in again. And then this one, I'm going to take a little bit of the cerulean blue in because I think that'll be more vibrant and stand forward. Really nice, that's granulating as well. So I use the base of the green gold again. It is really flowing lovely. And then I'm going to try a little bit of the moon glow in this one. Within the green, you can't tell much difference between the cobalt violet and the moon glow. It'll be interesting to see when it dries if it looks any different. And then I've got another leaf here. Yeah, loving the green gold. It's so vibrant. If you love colour and you love texture, then these are a winner, I think. So this is a little bit more of the cerulean blue coming in this side. So I'm getting a side that's darker and a side that's lighter here. I'm playing, but I'm being intentional with my play. Just going to try a tiny touch of the rhodonite just to see what happens. So I'm assuming this is very similar to permanent rose. I'm going to use some of these in a background colour so we get to see exactly what they do. I'm going to add a little bit within there as well. So looking at these, it's beautiful. I can see the split out of the cobalt violet. I can see the pink coming through. If I can just bring that closer, can you see that? It really is beautiful. I'm going to bring a bit of water into each side of here and just use a little bit more of the cobalt violet. And on this one, because it's smaller, I'm just going to pop 2 lines of the cobalt violet and then soften that in. So just dab my brush off just to stop it going too far. Don't want to put too much water in. I'm just trying to control the paint a little bit. If I get my rigger. I'm going to twizzle round because it's easier for me to get to the angle that I need to be. I'm going to pop in some stems. So this is just with the green gold. You should never be afraid to turn around to get to the angle you need to be, to make it easier for you to get these nice sweeps of colour. Now I'm intentionally touching in because I want the flow, because this is me messing, but can you see the flow here? I'm trying to make it happen on this one, and that one's a bit drier. These are the bits that I like, when you're not quite controlling it as much as you think you should. You get these little happy accidents happening. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of the cerulean blue just on each side here, just so you've got a different tone. Okay, I'm going to dry that one off and we'll come on with a bit of a wash of a background. Okay, so I'm going to come on now with a bit of water into the background. I'm not overly concerned really about what I'm creating here. It's more about just playing with the paint so you get an idea of what they're like. In a wet wash, they're going to flow much more, so you get a much better idea of flow. So I'm putting plenty of water on. I haven't gone all the way really close to the snowdrops. I can do that later. I'm just going to have a little bit of a play. So colours we've not used yet. We've not used the orange, so let's go in with this. So this is lovely and vibrant. So in Winsor & Newton I have a favourite transparent orange. This is a bit peachier than that, but it is a really vibrant colour. It reminds me a little bit of Scarlet Lake in Winsor & Newton. Doesn't look like it's doing much on a granulation front. Rinse my brush off. I'm going to dab into the rhodonite one and just take that in within it and see what happens. I like to play and flow really. So bring a little bit of this. So bit by bit we're going to create a bit of a blend in this background. Right, and then we're going to go cobalt violet. I definitely like the cobalt violet. I can just tell that that's immediately upon applying this paint, I've loved it. It's the colour split out that's got me. I need to flick between two brushes as it gets a bit more difficult to get in. So I'm going to bring a bit of that cobalt violet in here. A bit here. Rinse my brush out. Let's pick up a little bit of the cerulean blue. And then I'm going to come in with this moon gold. So the cerulean blue definitely granulates and I like that as well. A little bit of a blend. I'll blend some of this through. And then I'm going to pick up some of the moon glow to tie it all together. So this is nice and dark. I know from watching other people's tutorials that moon glow was a colour that I would like, and I know I can make something very similar with Winsor & Newton colours, but it doesn't granulate, so this is interesting to see. So I'm going to flick around a little bit just so I can use my biggest brush possible to get into these areas so it doesn't dry too quickly. Just flick out a little bit so it blends. In a non-play world I would have masked these out, but because I'm just playing and seeing what it does, I'm not too concerned. Keeping it quite fluid. Twizzle round again. It's just all using the tip of my brush to get in where I need to get in nice and quickly. It's a really nice muted colour that works over things. Just going to add little bits of extra colour in. It's not the neatest of edge, but it's fine. Let's see if we can get into this centre bit. A little bit of water going in. Just to speed up the process. Use the biggest brush possible to get in there. And I can come in with my smaller round number 6 to neaten up. Again, twizzling round so that I can see the tip of the brush. Because if you can see the tip of the brush, you know where you're painting. I say this quite often, and in fact I've had some negative comments about it to say that it was obvious, but it's not obvious. If you can see the tip of your brush, then you know exactly where you're coming to. Some people paint like that and you can't see it. So that moon glow is definitely granulating as well. It's really lovely. I'm just going to pop in some little bits, more bits of dark, just to hold this together whilst it's still damp enough to take it. Now I'm going to dry this off and then we'll come back for a final look. Okay, so this is lovely and dry now, and it is a really lovely set of paints. It was around about £40, I think. So this is a Stella Canfield's Master Artist Set 2. So the cerulean blue, you can see here, nice granulation. The green gold has got granulation a little bit. It's very, very delicate, but it's such a vibrant colour and it's worked lovely to split into here. I love the cobalt violet. You can see the split out happening between the blue and the violet in there. The moon glow is a really good shadow background colour. It's nicely muted and it granulates. You can see that texture. So the two I'm probably less impressed with are the rhodonite genuine and the Pyrrole orange. So the Pyrrole orange has faded quite significantly really under the hairdryer. I do use a hairdryer quite often. It's very rare that I lose something. So if I just show you here how vibrant it was and how much it's faded. Whether that would not fade if you didn't hairdryer it and it would stay a little bit, but so that's a little bit disappointing really. I'd like that to have stayed more vibrant. And I would have liked them both to granulate as well, because for me, when I buy Daniel Smith, I want the granulation. But ultimately, still for the 4 that I absolutely love, I'm really happy that I've got this set. If you've enjoyed this, please do let me know. I can do other unboxing type reviews. I'll pop another video for you here, and I shall see you next time.